Alright, welcome back everybody, welcome back to the moth-hawk project, and today we're gonna be working on that sweet ass wood over there. The roots are gonna be drawn again, so we're gonna be working over here. As you probably imagine, I actually don't have the right tool equipped, I believe so myself. But yeah, so let's double check. Come on. Ink pen 3, yes, that's not the one that I need, right? No, it was the one that I need. Oh, lovely. So why is this like this? Alright. Pick up the right tool. Switch back to the advanced colors, which is gonna be black. Ouch, my hand. So yeah. Today we're going to be working on this again, so we're going to be working towards the goal of getting from point A to point B, so we're going to be working around here. So that's what we're going to be going for. And, today I actually have been working. If you could imagine it, I actually have been working on the on a project myself, and that project was actually developing a CD cover for my aunt, if I believe so myself. Yeah, aunt. And that actually turned out really great. So that's a good sign. And the more stuff I do, the more better I improve upon it. Well, at least that's what I always believe in myself. I always believe that, improving comes by time and not by that. Also, as you can see, it's like, hey, beware, it's big. Layers takes a lot of things. Image size. What is the big problem? Layers. Because I use too much layers. Alright. And how much memory do you use? 4.3. Well, that's... What? That is out of memory. Swapping has been started. Alright. I knew it. I knew I needed to have more RAM. Oh boy. So yeah, I need to go for more RAM. Let me just see if I can get something here. Other options or something like that? Windows, no. Config, management of resources. Display. Direct. Auto direct, yes, angle. So if I'm gonna go for the... No, I don't want that. I actually want to see if I have the canvas input setting. Management, control, performance, memory limit. No, fuck that. Use all the memory you can get. And file size limit. Well, I don't give a shit about how much file size it can get. So we'll put it into what? 24? Probably. Let's go for 1.18 gig. Yes, and advance. Limited painting. No, I want to just go for whatever needs to be done. Alright. Now it should work. Mr. here does think that I have not enough, oh, look at that. Oh no. Look at that. What? The whole damn icon of beware danger. Ah, it's all gone. See? It doesn't say that anymore because I switched it. Oh. I knew that I had 16 RAM, but it was not using it. Stupid. So yeah, I'm now using 16 RAM instead of 8. So that's good. It's funny that, software like this can actually do this like that. It's like, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, oh well. At least I fixed the problem before it could get any messy. So I can now do this and then have no problems whatsoever. So yeah, the most important thing is that the software calculate layers are actually the most problematical thing to have. So yeah, this drawing is going to be taking a lot of layers because I like to be very, you know, decisive. But if I want to lower the file down, I could actually, you know, merge layers with each other. That would fix the whole damn problem. But nah, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a lazy guy, so I will not merge them. My PC just needs to needs to keep up with me. So yeah, of course, you know, this is a thing that can happen, and well, you know, I fixed it. So thankfully, I fixed it. Otherwise, we would have been in a lot of trouble later on. Not now, of course, but later on, we should have been in trouble. At least that's what I think. So yeah, that's what I did today. I actually improved my. I actually almost finished the drawing that I needed to do for the CD cover, and you know, I was like, well, today I want to do a walk also. So I did a walk, and then in the evening, when I wanted to get myself some, when I wanted to get myself the, how do you say, pudding? Yes, there you go, pudding. At the grocery store, it started to rain heavily. So I was like, oh man, I calculated this correctly, because technically I wanted to actually, you know, skip the walk for today and then, you know, do it in a later time after the drawing itself. But then I realized that it would be very rainy. Also, it was very moist and hot, so, you know, it didn't help at all. So yeah, I fixed the problem. I fixed the solutions that I did, and I'm very happy. Also, that drawing does only have like 3 or 4 layers, so that's doable. The CD cover is actually quite good on the layer aspect, instead of, you know, the moth-hawk project, which has tons of layers. But you know, you want those layers. They're not unnecessary layers. That's the main problem. They're all layers that all serve a purpose, and I cannot get rid of them unless, you know, we're almost at the end of it. So yeah, I did a lot of work here and there, and I'm very happy upon seeing how much I actually did. So next time, I hope, you know, that's also why I actually did not do the morning drawing, because, you know, I needed to work on that thing as well. So technically, you know, I calculate to make sure that I'm not doing anything else that is not bad. Anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to do my very best upon getting from point A to point B, and making sure that I'm doing my very best to get stuff done. And well, you know, it's a lot of time, you know, time consuming to work on a project. Yes. But is it all worth it? Oh yes, definitely. Because, you know, you can see already the improvement I did over the first year I actually started with the first project. So the first project was actually a lot more, how do you say, difficult to do, because I first was introduced to coloring. That's why it's called the boat project, the coloring boat project, because, you know, coloring was not my strong suit. And it took me a long time to get from point A to point B on that one. Then I learned how to do shading and coloring correctly, and drawing better. And the more stuff I do, the better I get at it. And the better I get at it, the more happier I get, because technically some things I could not draw before, and now I can draw it, and that is fucking amazing. You know, being able to draw stuff that I actually could not draw beforehand. So yeah, I hope everybody has such moments in life, because that's important to have. So now we're working towards getting Mr. Tree Man here and getting it from point A to point B. So we need to get to around here. So that's good. And then once we're done, we're just going to be adding some more color to it, so that we have like the shading and all that stuff done. So yeah, don't mind me just drawing here. So yeah, the amount of stuff I actually learned over the time was actually very important for me. Seeing how much stuff I actually learned from, you know, just coloring a boat project is amazing. I learned so much. like how to draw a rock. Oh, yes, rocks are very difficult to draw, but once you learn how to draw them, it's really good. A normal person would not pay attention upon drawing rocks, but I'm like, yeah, I want to draw rocks like I like to draw rocks, how to do like rocks, and then you have rocks. Sounds a little bit confusing. It is confusing because I totally forgot how to speak properly, but let's just say that I wanted like to draw realistic rocks, and therefore I like to learn how to do it, and that's where the Mopo project came in. I learned how to draw realistic rocks and how they react to sunlight and all that stuff and shading, which makes them even more realistic because they gain more shaping. They gain more shape towards it. So yeah, now that we're doing this, working on the roots, this is all just root parties, so it is all rooty and entangled, which is important for roots, of course. If you had anything else, it would not have been so important, but for me, this is like important for me because roots are a thing that needs to be comprehended, and you need to make sure that you are using a balanced idea upon how to get from point A to point B on these things. The main downside of these roots is that you don't wanna add roots, yes, but you don't want to add too much detail to the roots, otherwise you're gonna get lots of trouble. So I hope that this texture is working well. Probably not so, because I'm actually using a little bit too low texture, but it should be fine. Probably actually need to redo a lot of texturing, but once we get to the color, it should be fine. Or hopefully we're gonna get to the color. But yeah, I hope everybody has a good day today, because I had one. We even still have some left birthday cake left in our cooling unit, cooling thing, fridge. And there you go, fridge. That was the word. Jeez, how do I forget such an easy word? Fridge. Because it's freezy. Because it's freezing. Fridge. Technically, in our country, we call it just a cooling closet. Yes. Actually, we're calling that it. Yes. It's just a closet that cools things. That's even easier to remember. It's like, what does this closet do? Well, it cools things. Alright, then we're gonna call it a cooling closet. Yes, we're gonna call it that. So yeah, cool cost. There you go. Very easy word, very easy to remember. But yeah, the amount of stuff I actually learned from, some words are definitely different than English, and that is always a thing that I need to remember, and always a thing to make sure that I do that on time, because a fridge is a different word. It's a totally different word than, a cool cost. But yeah, how did I remember that word, by the way? Well, there was a commercial back in the day, which was from Heineken, if I believe so. Yes, the brewery stuff, and they were always very lovely with their commercials about native Dutch people speaking English. So this guy just ordered himself a walk-in fridge. Alright, a walk-in fridge. Normally you would say like, you have this fridge that is like super huge, where you can just open a door and you can walk in and grab yourself some beer and I'll walk out. That is the idea of a walk-in fridge, according to, the dude who thinks of it. What did the person thought that he was mentioning was actually a walking fridge. So literally a robot that is a fridge that delivers the beer towards them, and then when it opens the fridge door, it's like, oh my god, there is beer, and then everybody's celebrating like, yes. And then the people that that were inside were like, what the fuck just happened? uh, Also, there was also the other commercial, which was also very funny. The one with the people. Some friends are getting invited towards somebody's home, and he has like this whole damn arsenal of beer. But before that, before you have that picture in mind that there is a lot of arsenal full of beer, you have these girls just screaming about all the shoes in this big giant room full of shoes and dresses and all that stuff. And then the guys walk in and see all this beer in the other area, and they are screaming, and the girls, and even overcome the scream of the girls who are screaming from enthusiastic. Oh man, never gets old. Never fucking gets old. I love it. It's always so funny to see such a good commercial going on. The other one is also very fun. The one which the insurance company of 2006, I believe. That commercial still makes me fucking laugh. It's about, the people are going to the zoo. Nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing is happening. And they're just, you have this lovely song of the lion sleeping tonight playing in the background. And these people are coming home. And then once they, close their garage door, you see this sleeping lion on top of the roof of the car. And then the commercial goes like, yeah, I guess you need to call somebody here. So yeah, they call the people that they call the insurance company, which is actually quite fun to see. But yeah, the whole insurance company is placed in a state, province, no, a state, I believe. Yes, state, no, city that is famous for having how do you say, unlucky experiences. There you go, unlucky experiences. So the whole name of the state is about being unlucky, and therefore they use the commercial that all the time they use commercials where a person is very unlucky and I need to call them because he got either screwed over or has a bizarre situation. Because you don't want to buy any you don't want to have a lion on top of your roof while you're done with the safari and realize it's just too late while you're closing the garage door. So yeah, the other one was also funny. The other one was also funny from that one, where they go skiing, and the other guy has like an accident with his feet, and then the kid literally just he looks at a kid, and the kid is like bleh, putting his tongue out because he doesn't like his face, and then pushes over the very precious vase. So he needs to pay up everything, and then that is why you should actually have an insurance policy for going down going outside of Europe. So yeah, that's the thing. That is how the insurance policy commercials were. It was actually quite fun to watch. I believe myself it was actually one of the best commercials there ever were. But yeah, nowadays it's just always annoying. Commercials are always annoying. There are not so good. There are no good or smart commercials anymore that much. It's always like, you need to buy this now, and then everybody's like, all right. So yeah, that is the old-fashioned commercial that were actually quite good to watch and very enjoyable while you are watching like Idols or watching the next talent, the next song talent with family and friends, because that's what you did back in the day. You watch somebody sing, and then you hear somebody sing so badly that you're like, oh my god, please stop already. My ears are bleeding. So yeah, that was the experience back then. That was all the things that I did back then as well. sitting on the bar, sitting on a chair or on a couch, and then realizing like, oh man, it is late today, isn't it? And then it's like, oh my god, today it's gonna be this day, and then this is gonna be going, and then everybody's like, yeah, let's watch it. And then the next day you need to talk to the other friends or other people that are talking about it, like, yeah, we need to talk about this. And then are you, did you also watch this guy? And then like, yeah, he was terrible, wasn't he? And he's like, yes, of course he was terrible. And then you have a lot of laughter. But yeah, they overdid it. They made it way too long. It's like, now it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has been already going on for 8 or 9 years, and then the first 3 years is alright, but then after that it's like, it's so repetitive. And yeah, that is exactly why I quit watching TV most of the time, because it was either very terrible commercials, which are really horrible to watch because you are like, I don't want to watch this, and sometimes that is very annoying because the commercials either are provoking you from watching the movie with passion because you want to watch a movie, but the commercials are totally interrupting you while watching it, and most of the times the commercials are the movie is cut in such a way that the commercials are literally disturbing you. I even watched once Lord of the Rings with commercial breaks between it. Oh my god, that was horrible. That was not watchable at all. Because, on the important parts where people are, having these energetic moments, it cuts to black and then you have this great advertisement about, I don't know, coffee? Yes, let's go for coffee. So yeah, it is literally annoying. But yeah, I watched it once. I never do that again. I rather watch just the Blu-ray version of it instead of watching it with commercials on. Ugh, that is a death sentence. If you want to torture someone, just watch Lord of the Rings with commercial breaks. Oh god, that is not funny at all. But yeah, so far so good. Now, since we're now done with this, we're gonna go now towards the color again. So we're gonna pick up the color. Beep, 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 beep. Alright. Now we have the color 1. Now we need to get color 2, which is this one right here. Alright. No, this one. Alright. Now we need to get to switch to that part, and then we need to find out if this is the right amount of stuff we need. Yeah, this is the right tool to use for it. Alright. Now we're gonna be continuing here where we left off. We're gonna introduce ourselves to Wood, yes. So yeah, a lot of work has been done, and hopefully we are able to get this part done for today. I think we will be, by the way. It is indeed a hard thing to do, but don't mind me, I just need to watch the clock as well. Alright. 25 minutes, well, that is doable. That is indeed a doable that's a doable achievement. So yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, horrible commercials with Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so I would never advise it anyone at all anymore. So if you ever want to go watch a movie, just watch the movie on cinema or on CD, because it is sometimes some movies are not possible to watch on the television. Even if you really want to, it is not possible. So yeah, speaking of which, the things I watched back in the day were actually very interesting to watch. I always watched. I was never a fan of these live sitcom series that were produced on the Disney Channel and all that stuff. I was never a fan of it. And back in the day, they were the things that where everybody was talking about at my school, and that was like, ugh, no, thank you. So yeah, sitcoms were not a thing. I didn't like it. I was like, what the hell is this for kind of humor? And the worst thing comes to worst, of course, when they're not speaking the native language; they actually are speaking the Dutch language. So you have these terrible jokes that don't even, really fall on their head because, they are translated. So most of the jokes were actually terrible. Could you imagine that? Having these very dry jokes and then having a laugh sequence after that, like, ha 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 ha. Like, there's a studio producing the laugh track. But the main problem with it was that the laugh track didn't work because of the, different languages that were used. And that happened a lot, by the way. A lot of these live series were a very pain in the ass to watch. The main problem was, of course, I had no choice watching them. Why? Because technically they were also in my, they were not in my schedule, of course, but my sister was also there. So my sister was watching, and I, of course, cannot take the remote from her. No, we always had like a strict rule set of who gets the remote and who doesn't get the remote. And always, I always would like, yeah, you're watching this, all right, fine. I will play some video games then. So that was like, the place where I was like, yeah, I am no longer interested in watching these series or whatever. I will watch something else. So that's when I switched to cartoons. Most of the time I would just switch to cartoons once once my sister would stop watching. And most of the cartoons we did watch cartoons together. Don't get me wrong there. I just didn't watch with her the most of the terrible sitcoms that were produced back in the 90s. Ugh. Oh well, not the 90s, the 200s, I believe. Yeah, 200s, 206, 2006, 2007, 8, and 9. Man. But yeah, most of the amount of stuff I actually did with the cartoon series were actually quite interesting. Like, I have seen Totally Spies, I believe so. I saw Winx Club. I also saw the Cat and Dog series, which was amazing. SpongeBob. Yeah, all those lovely series that I could watch. And Danny Phantom. Those series were really cool. And the main downside, of course, was because of Nickelodeon not being able to translate from point A to point B, because Nickelodeon was, I could not get Nickelodeon to get to English sounding, so I always have been watching all the Nickelodeon series on Dutch. It was quite surprising when I heard for the first time the English speaking voice actors for SpongeBob and Squidward and Patrick, which was, it was very interesting to see. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't know that exists. But yeah, back in the day, I actually tried to switch the Dutch language to English because I was sick and tired of hearing the same voice actors every single time, or hearing a Belgian voice on somebody who didn't look at least a bit Belgian. It's like, if you speak Belgian, you already know what I'm talking about. It is so how do you say, immersion breaking when somebody is saying, "Allee, je weet toch waar we heen gaan of niet?" And then it's I would be literally being breaking my mind right now. It is very annoying to hear that kind of Belgian accent. Ugh. I have nothing against Belgians. I just hate it when, you use the same voice actor 20 times in a row on different people that are coming that all speak in that same language. It's like, why am I in Belgium now right now? This is supposed to be a this is supposed to be a Dutch show, not a Belgian show. So yeah, a lot of the voice actors are Belgian because the Dutch voice acting was not very high. Most of the people that were Dutch voice actors were professional voice actors, which then would only on the natural channels be introduced. So the NL 1, 2 and 3, so NPO 1, 2 and 3, the Nederlandse Omroep. Those people have the Dutch voice actors which are, famous. But yeah, because you had lacking of Dutch voice actors in the normal sense, so the normal Dutch voice actors were lacking. Most voiceovers actually came from Belgium, which you will get tired really soon if you hear that accent every single time for every single person. It gets really ridiculous, trust me. And then most of the normal Dutch people speaking it, and then combine it with Belgian people, that is the problem. Because Belgian people have such a strict accent, and then you have these normal people that are from Amsterdam or Rotterdam, those people speak way different than a Belgian person would. In the accent, in the terms, in the way of how they speak. And that is the main problem, because it is alright to have a normal Dutch person speak, but if you have also a Belgian person speak, and you have them have a conversation, it's like, what? Because I swear to you, every single time I meet another person that is also Dutch, they always assume that I'm a Belgian person. Why? Because I have the accent of the low G and the I have the accent of the low G and the singing in the speaking. So I have the voice of having the yeah, yeah, that kind of voice lines, because the Limburg's accent is different, very different from the Rotterdam's or Amsterdam's or Utrecht's accents. It's very standing out. And that is the main problem most of the times when you have like a TV show which normally is centralized upon, normal people, like, normal Dutch people or normal. Just the centralized Netherlands language is not there. And that is the main issue, because technically you should have been speaking normal Dutch. Therefore, you're speaking in such a term that it is actually possible to not distinguish from accents. And that is a thing that happened with a lot of the TV series that were those sitcoms, because there is a Belgian joke and then you have a Dutch joke, and those jokes don't work together because they're both from a different aspect, and that is the main problem then. So you have jokes that don't land, and if you have then a laugh track on it and you don't have the joke that lands, then well, you're gonna be like, ha, 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 that is so funny today. Oh, 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 oh. And you're not laughing at all. But yeah, the amount of stuff we did, the amount of accents there were, sometimes I don't mind, but if I know that the actor is not, Dutch, and I have heard the original voice acting, I will be immediately being like, yeah, I need to switch this. I cannot watch this. I always have that when I watch with my nephew some series. Like, I need to watch my nephew, and he wants to watch a children's show, and I hear the Dutch language or the Belgian accent. I immediately be like, oh, this is cringy. This is so cringeworthy. Because he's watching those shows that I know what the English channel is speaking. Of course, you know, you're wondering like, why am I watching cartoons? Because, you know, I have watched a lot of cartoons back in the day because they were my bread and butter for learning how to, you know, I always daydream, so therefore, you know, I really could live into the moments of those series, and it's quite fun to, you know, fantasize about anything and everything. And that's always very handy, but it's not very handy when you want to try to cross the street. But nah, that's another part of another time, I must say myself. All right, wow. All right, I'm doing actually quite good on those trees. Lovely, and we're not even there. Nice. All right, since we have some time left, allow me to tell you the lovely story of how I crashed into a car. That's always a great story. You're probably wondering how the hell did I crash into a car and did not get hurt. Yes, you heard it right. A car crashed into me and I did not get hurt. Though I was driving with my bike and the car crashed into me. So technically I was driving, the car, boom. Alright? That is literally what happened. So the car hit me, but I didn't fly across the street or anything. Well, technically I did fly across the street, but I was still standing. So what happened? I was on my way to I was on my way to get to from point A to point B to school with a friend of mine, and we biked together. So I was on my bicycle, and we had like a long straight line of road ahead, and then suddenly from the right side, a car came. So we were driving upwards. So we were driving upwards on a little bump, on a little speed bump, and then the car came directly into me. So boom, it connected to me, and suddenly I was put on a hold because I could not pedal anymore because something was broken. I stepped off my bike. I looked at my bike, and somehow my bike was no longer resembling a bike. Somehow, the bike parts of the whole chain was totally loosened. The back wheel was ruined. So what happened? Because of the force of the car, because I was biking, the rubber between the wheels actually always liquefies on a certain degree. Because it was hot, it was a little bit liquefied. The car pushed me, but because my tires were liquefied, I was actually shoved instead of being literally thrown across the room. So that's why I could stand up. This woman comes out of the car and is like, "Oh my god, did something happen? Are you hurt?" And I'm like, I just casually look at my bike and from, well, it looks like my bike is a little bit broken. And she's like, "I will pay for it." And I'm like, yeah, you should. Definitely do. So I was literally baffled upon what the hell just happened. It was quite funny because I even called my mom upon like, "Hey mom, a car just crashed into me," and she's like, "What just happened?" So so she came over. She made sure that the woman paid for my repairment on the bike, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not good because now I cannot go to school." So I had to lend another bike for sometimes. Well, I believe I even bought a new bike afterwards. Yeah, I believe also that. But yeah, that was the end of the story of the great bike of the, what was it? I believe it was even a very new one. Even it was not even the old crackback 2000. Yes, the very trash bike. But yeah, that's how cars crash into you. They don't see that you're coming, and you just end up on the other side of the road. Well, everybody is baffled how you did not fall off your bike. and you're just standing there like, huh, this is awkward. So yeah, lovely stuff. Biking, never gets old. I even biked on a very small bike once. I was with my family to a very big giant hill of sand, sort of sand dune in the middle of the forest, and there was a little baby bike there. So there was like a three ones, I believe, something like that. And I was like, you know what? I believe I can ride that. And so I did. And then I totally realized my mistake while I went going down, and then I crashed inside of the sand, full full heads into the dirt. I would say this: never try to trust a baby bike on how to know how to ride a baby bike. Never do it. Never ever do it again. Oh man, sand dunes are so lovely. We always went there for, having some picnic there or anything else like that. So I knew the place all around. I even did once, because I was on a different town back then. I even roller skated skating, yes, skating, there you go. I believe it's roller skating, the same thing, right? But then not the one with 2 wheels on the side, but the only 4 wheels in the front. So yeah, I actually skated the whole town. I had like a spare day at summer, and I was like, you know what? I will try to roller skate the whole damn town. And I did. It was actually that town was actually quite big than the town that I'm now living in. Technically, we moved from one town to another town and then back to the other town that we were before. But I know both towns, But yeah, I visualized and mapped it, and then the last time I got lost in the town, I actually knew my way out. And that always comes really handy when you have like scouting and be like, hey dude, do you know where we can get some snacks or something? And I'm like, yeah, we need to go that way, that corner, that way, and that corner. So could you imagine it? A scouting group just coming into a snack bar and being like, yeah, I like to have that, and that, and then it's for to go. And then you just buy it and then go back to finding the things that you needed to do. So yeah, we did that actually on scouting many times. Just going to the snack bar and just grabbing some food, and then go backwards. Oh man, scouting. How do you say that? Quests were so much fun. They were great. They were absolutely lovely. And always remember that you always need to use the stick as a lightsaber. Stick fights were a real thing back in the day. Well, they were the best thing in the day. Because nobody wanted to, everybody likes to have like these little wars with each other. Like, you have these people that were the leaders, and if you were strong enough with your skills, with your wood and sword, you would be able to rank up and all that stuff, and you would get a special reward if you would have beaten the other person. Of course, it was just regular beating. It was not like beating people up. It was more like, haha, I beat you with my stick because I hit you first, and then oh no, I must surrender. But yeah, it was great. It was lovely. Scouting was a real fun thing back in the day. It's a shame that it actually I quit it afterwards. I believe I quit it after 6-7 years of scouting, 8, 9. I kind of lost count on that one. It has been a long time anyway, but I remembered stuff. I remember back in the day that Star Wars was in the Calyx boxes, so you had like lightsabers, lollies. Those were the best. Lightsaber lollies. Oh, they were great. Alright. And then you had purple, you had green, you had yellow. Oh, you even had a red. Oh, that one was legendary. Alright, now that we are putting our difference behind us, we can then soon see how well we are actually doing on the progress upon getting from point A to point B with the wood. So let's take a look soon at this beautiful part of wood, because look at this. This looks amazing. This looks great. This looks like real wood, isn't it? Ah, man. So yeah, I hope you all have been enjoying it so far. I hope I did not talk too much about, useless stuff. And if you ever wanted to say something like, being able me to change the subject, I would be happily to change the subject about anything else. But that was just what I came to mind. Wow, that actually looks great. Let's see. 4 minutes. Alright, I can then, work on this part here to fix that part. Alright. So yeah, let's save it soon and then we're gonna call it a day. So that looks lovely. That looks like a real tree pot. Alright. Now that since that we're loading in the safe, which is important. Yep, loading in the safe like that. Alright. Yeah. I hope you all have enjoyed for today. And thanks all for watching. I hope I'll see you all next time. Until then, I wish you all a lovely day. And, well, bye!